Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willow Bound Journals, and I'm back here with my Daphne's Diary journal and the List journal course. So I've taken a little bit of a break. I was away for a little bit and then I got sick, and life generally just gets busy. So you can take this course. It's a free course on my channel, and you can start anytime, you can stop anytime, and you can pick it up anytime as well. It's a go at your own pace course. The videos will always be on my channel, so you can find them and replay them or watch them whenever you want to, and you can pick up this course anytime that life suits. And so these are the prompts. These prompts are available to print on the community tab, or I think it's the community tab, where you can actually post photos and different things there. So that is available to download, as well as another list if you want even more prompts. But yeah, they're just to choose something that might be inspiring you and something to start off with. So you don't have to do these exact prompts. You can replace prompts. You don't have to do them in order, and just have them there as a way to get into your journal, low pressure. You don't need to write paragraphs or pages. You can just write a simple list like this. So you don't even have to write a list. You could just write one thing and that is enough, totally enough. So I'm now up to day 14 and 15, and I kind of did these together because they are sort of similar. And the reason I chose these ones at this time was just because, I'd been sick for quite a while. And when I get sick, my mind kind of goes to this other place where it's not my normal way of thinking or seeing. And I was just feeling a bit down. And so I thought this would be a good prompt to kind of counter that. So looking at simple pleasures and looking at gratitude. And so I didn't limit myself to 5 things. I usually try to do a top 5 for the prompts, but I just, did as many as I could fit onto the page. And so simple pleasures, thinking about Melbourne water. So I live in Queensland, but I'm originally from Melbourne, and Melbourne will still always be home. And Melbourne water is just delicious, straight from the tap. Up here where I live, the tap water doesn't taste good, so people either have bottled water or filtered water. So whenever I go to Melbourne and I can have water straight from the tap, it feels like such a luxury and it tastes so good. And when I come back to Bowen, I have a water bottle filled up with Melbourne tap water, and I try and make it last as long as possible when I get back here. Sleeping in is a simple pleasure for me, and I just love the feeling of, when you first go into bed or when you wake up, the feeling of the doona, and I use a waffle weave blanket underneath the doona, and just the softness, and the warmth, I don't know, it just is for me, again, a simple pleasure. Feels so cozy. Sunlight is a simple pleasure. Often when there's a run of cloudy, dark, gloomy looking days, and then the sun comes out finally, it's just a simple pleasure where it just lifts my mood. Coming from Melbourne, winters there were very drab and they would definitely affect my mood. I found winter a very hard time in Melbourne because I wouldn't want to get out of bed. It was just too cold. My fingers would physically be in pain because my body doesn't do well with the cold. And just sunlight, seeing it out the window, it kind of makes the day feel like it's going to be better than it would be if I look out the window and see a cloudy day. So sunlight just does wonders for my mood, not even having to necessarily be out in the sunlight, even though that is definitely great. But even just seeing sunlight out my window is wonderful, simple pleasure. Warm mornings and balmy nights. So again, as a person who likes the warmer weather, I definitely appreciate living where I do in Queensland, where I can go to bed nice and warm and wake up nice and warm, especially waking up warm and having to get out of bed when it's warm. That is such a simple pleasure that I never want to forget or take for granted, because it's it just helps me get into the day straight away. It's like, yep, I'm here, let's go. Whereas if it's cold, I'm like, I don't want to face the day. And so that is something I love about being here. Like, there's pros and cons to living here, but that is definitely one of the biggest pros. Music, simple pleasure. There's this song at the moment that I'm currently loving. It's an instrumental song called Dancing on My Own. So it's like an instrumental cover of this song, and it's from the Bridgerton soundtrack, and I just love the melody. Like, it just has this, I don't know, it's very emotional, and I listen to that song on repeat. It's amazing. Of course, the simple pleasure is my kitty cat Keanu, and simply just watching him sleep. It's just so peaceful and brings me joy and makes me smile. And yeah, that's definitely just a very simple pleasure, watching him sleep. The colour blue, when I see the colour blue, even my nails here, the colour blue, the background here with the flowers on this paper that is for my latest printable kit that I've made. When I see the peacock feathers on my wall, yeah, the colour blue is just a very simple pleasure. It makes me very happy, the colour blue. Food. Now, I'm not the hugest foodie. Often I find eating a chore because I'd rather be doing other stuff where I can be using my hands to do other stuff, like making journals, crafting and writing and reading. So I always have to be like reading or watching something while I eat, because if I'm just eating, for me it's like, oh, this is such a waste of time. I don't know, other people are not like that at all. They, you know, love their food, and I do love my food as well when it is delicious. So I'm one of those people who are either I get 0 or 100, and so when I love my food, I love it to the max. And so just having, and dinner is my favorite meal as well. So if I have a delicious dinner meal, I am very happy. Reading, I always have multiple books on the go, but there's one book in particular that I'm currently reading called The Bookbinder of Jericho, and it's just very sweet and charming and simple, and I tend to just read maybe 1 or 2 chapters a day, and straight away it takes me into that world, and it's just a bit of a simple pleasure. And then moving on to gratitude, I just use this simple line page here to do a list, and then I had more things I wanted to write, so I put them on the back. And definitely grateful for Keanu and just how I get to look after such a beautiful creature, and it's such a privilege, and that he knows me and trusts me and feels safe with me. I think that is just so lovely that I can have this gift of a cat to look after. I love looking after him. Point shoes. So we are working on a point dance for our end of year dance concert, and we didn't do point all year, and only just in this last term really we've worked on a point dance. And I've never had consistent training in point, even though I've had them for a while now, like a few years. The year that I started point lessons was the year of COVID, so it had disrupted training then. Then our teacher left the next year, and so I've never really had consistent point training, and so I still feel very out of my comfort zone with it. I'm still learning. I'm like, I don't even know how it's supposed to feel necessarily. I'm not sure what I'm doing all the time on point. But I figure that's kind of a good thing, a good place to be, to have an area in your life where you're out of your comfort zone, where you're growing and learning, and it's frustrating while you're learning and trying and failing constantly, but it's so good because you're going to progress if you keep going. So I'm trying to find the joy and the gratitude of practicing instead of the frustration of I can't do this and I don't know how I'm supposed to do this and whatever. And just to take the time that's going to take. We might not actually get to do this dance on point. If we're not ready, we will do it on our flat shoes, and that's okay. I won't be disappointed because I definitely don't want to do a dance before I'm ready on point. Safety first. But yeah, just to know, keep putting in the practice, keep taking the time, and even that I'm even on point at all. I'm just grateful for that. Grateful so much. So I'm putting my shoes on each week, just practicing at home, and I'm grateful for that. Very thankful for the course I'm doing, the bookmaking course, and the group of ladies that I'm doing it with, that we meet each week, and or each time we can meet. And I just love that it's such a deep thinking and deep talking group of ladies, and knowing I'm not alone with them in our creating and writing and living. We're kind of on the same page, and it's nice to know other people who are also creative and want to write a book, and who want to go deep into like self-discovery and healing and growth and all that kind of stuff. So I'm very thankful for this group. And then I'm also thankful for the Intentional Life group, which is the group of ladies, the Willow group as well, of ladies who do the Intentional Life course with me. And anyone can sign up and join that course as well anytime and be part of the Willow group. We share videos on Marco Polo, and all the links are down below for this if you're interested. But I've been journeying with some of these ladies for 2 years, and so far seeing where they live and seeing their journals and seeing what they're creating. And it's just really fun to have like-hearted friends from around the world, again with the same common interests, and just talking about our love of paper and pretty things and documenting our lives and growing together. I'm very thankful for these ladies. A home to live in and people that take me in, and also taking my cat in. Thankful for family. Thankful for a chat that I had with my friend. We had a 2.5-hour phone chat after a long time of between chats, so that was really great to catch up with her. She's one of those people who I can talk deeply with and share vulnerabilities with, and we just love trading the things that we're learning and insights and reflections, and we're always so uplifting. And this is a friend that I met at Beach Mission, and we just reminisced about our time at Macrae and how we're just both so thankful for our time there, and how we grew and learned so much from it. And we want to do a reunion and go back and stay there and just remember everything and how much of a role it played in our lives and made us who we are. And then thinking deeply, wrestling with flowers and struggling to get to the gems. This idea that I have embraced, that I wrestle with life, that I wrestle with God, I wrestle with faith, I wrestle with myself, I wrestle with identity, I wrestle with purpose. And that's okay. I've come to just accept that I wrestle and embrace that the wrestle gets me to some treasures that I wouldn't get without the wrestle. And yes, sometimes it can be frustrating, it can be painful to live a life of wrestling and a life of struggling, but I'll take it because I get good things out of it. And I am all about learning from everything and finding beauty everywhere and seeing good in everyone and finding the gold in all things in life and finding the gems and the treasure in the struggles and the wrestles. And that's, I feel like, what I'm here to do. I'm made to do that, and I want to do that the best that I can. I will struggle the best I can and trace those gems and hunt them out and share them as much as I can. So those are my 2 pages for simple pleasures and gratitude, and I hope you have fun. If you haven't done these prompts yet, doing these prompts yourself, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.
Hi everyone, this is JD's very proud mum. Ever since that wonderful day when JD was put into my arms, she's been teaching me stuff. One of the most important lessons was to do the things that bring you joy. So, inspired by her, I've partnered with a friend and we've created our own YouTube channel and podcast called Going Wild in the Highlands. We live in a different part of Australia to JD. We're not so close to the beach, but we're surrounded by bush where we have kangaroos, wombats, koalas and lots of other wildlife. Our show aims to showcase our area in a light-hearted way. If you'd like to listen to Going Wild in the Highlands, it's available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. Thanks, JD, for the opportunity to pop in and talk about our show. Keep up the great work. I love you heaps.